Hey peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you this 4th of July layout. This is a companion layout that I was created as a result of this particular layout here that I created for SpiegelMom Scraps. And I will share that video with you here on my own channel in a couple of days, but if you want to see it now, that video is up over on SpiegelMom Scraps. So when I was creating that layout, I needed some stars, and I used the stars in some scrap pieces of pattern paper, and you see those stars in squares. Those are remnant pieces from creating the layout, and I thought those would make a really cool grid layout. So I had another picture of the 4 of us on 4th of July last year, 2017, and I decided I'm just going to put these randomly cut squares, and some are squares, some are rectangles, and I was going to use them to surround the photo. I also had cut a few banners that I didn't end up using on the layout, and I thought, well, I can incorporate those into the page as well. So right now all I'm doing is trying to find a balance between the dark blues and the light blues, the darker red and the light red, and a balance of the stars scattered across the page so that they would draw your eye sort of around the page, but not be weighted heavily in the top or the bottom or anywhere in particular on the layout. And I'm digging into my stash with some other red, white, and blue papers to just create some other asymmetrical shapes, squares and or rectangles that would fit in with the layout. And again, it's a 4th of July layout. This is a Snapchat picture with a filter, I believe, and so and it says Happy 4th of July, so I just wanted to use that as the focal point of the layout. I had pulled some tags that I thought would be fun to accompany the layout, and again, because they were in keeping with that rectangular shape, but they don't all end up working, which is fine. So I'm playing with how I'm going to do this, and I wanted everything to be a little bit different. I didn't want everything to be uniform. And so that's why I'm going to banner that flag there, or that tag there. That's a coordinations tag, so that you could see a little bit more of the pattern paper that was underneath. And then I'm going to just adhere all of that down, because I have committed to that's pretty much going to be the placement of all of those elements there. I toyed with the idea of a glassine bag behind the photo so that I could include some journaling, either that or just for a little bit added texture to the layout, but I decided that it would look great as a window to one of the stars there. It's not super visible, but you do see that it's a little bit more opaque than the sharp white contrast of just those open star spaces that are there. And I have a lot of the negative space, or the cut out from the stars, and I thought, you can see where I've got that star die. That's the star that I used to cut them out, that it would be fun to use that as an actual star. So I decided that a few of the shapes, and I keep saying shapes because some are squares and some are rectangles, would look neat with some contrasting thread sewn around. And I did just a few of those, 3 of them to be precise. The top middle one, the red star on the right hand side, and I think that's it. I lied, I only did 2 of them. So there's that glassine bag that I just folded in half, and then cut in half actually, because it was a little bit too bulky, and that made me decide to change the placement of where I was going to put that star, and I moved it up to the top there because the bag was going to cover too much of that red that I had in the spot that it was at below. So just trimming it off so that you can see a little bit of the white border to create a little bit of a quilted look, and then commit to all of these bits and pieces to create that companion layout. So you can see how you can use bits and pieces left over from one layout to create another layout. And it's a different size, but that's okay, because I could put the 8.5, the letter size page protector, next to the 12 by 12, and then just use other things. So I just wanted a little bit more texture to the page, so I have some twine, and I'm going to wrap this twine around that bottom rectangle there, and again, just for a little bit of variety. But before I do that, I'm also going to cut these stars because I thought that it would be neat to maybe wrap some twine in the star as well. So one of those twines is the light blue and white is variegated is from the twinery, and then that red, white, and blue twine, it's a thinner twine, is from Doodlebug. So I put the twine there. I thought I might loop it, but again, the color contrast to the square up above, it ruins that delineation from one square to the other. So I'm going to untwist that in a minute, and I will tie a bow. And I cut out a few more stars than I ended up actually using, and that's okay because I use these red stars a fair amount on layouts. As I noted in my other video, red, white, and blue are colors that are very popular in my layouts and projects because the swim team that both of my kids swim for, the team colors are red and blue. So committing to all of this, here's that bow that I referenced earlier, and on that tag, and I don't do this on the video, I'm going to stamp 2017, and it's using the same numbers that I stamped the 2017 on the companion page that you will find over on the SpiegelMom Scraps YouTube channel, which I will also put up in a couple of days on my own channel here as well. Couple of overlapping banners, and again, just to fill that space so that it doesn't look like glaring white space, but also having a few of the banners end in banner, I'm going to call them triangles, but they're not triangles, banner edges, just to add some variety and to the layout. So that's that other piece of twine that I was talking about, and it just adds some free-flowing movement to the layout. So that ends up being the main background of the layout, or the canvas of the layout. And then I thought maybe it might be fun to add a little bit of washi to some of the squares as well, particularly those, if it had a star that was cut out of it, so using that negative, the remnant from the other layout, then it had a little bit of decoration to it. But I wanted ways of decorating some of those more plain squares, and that's where I'm going to add some stickers, some epoxy, and some washi. So red, white, and blue stars total there, with the white and the navy blue star. I have that little ID thing that I really wanted to use. I think that's from Fancy Pants? I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's from my stash. And I tried placing it on the layout, and it got abandoned. These letters are from Coco Daisy, from a kit, and I just put 4 because there are 4 of us, and I was going to say 4 on the 4th of July, but it's kind of self-explanatory, and I like that little arrow there. It kind of, again, adds that color. It completes the color combination of red, white, and blue in that bottom square there. This is some Christmas washi from IKEA, but perfect for this particular occasion. And another bit of washi, and I believe that washi is actually from the Dollar Spot at Target, and so the washi going 2 different directions adds some movement to the page. I'm just going to change up the color of that star with that blue epoxy star from Bella Boulevard. That splash of blue on the picture sort of pops the picture a little bit, and that, my friends, is going to wrap up my layout, other than this date stamp that I put off camera. So there's a couple of close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.